How's everyone doing today? Today is Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. I'm not sure when my next video is going to get in. I doubt I'm going to do one tomorrow before the new year, so I guess I'll kind of have like a theme of thinking about this year and next year. So if you guys don't mind, I was kind of thinking about this. I picked out a little cup for you and I, the viewers. We do a little shots or cheers, or I guess a little tribute to a couple different things. So I kind of chose this one because this is a piece that I've had for quite a while, but it's got these 3 feet. I kind of was thinking about balance for this year, different things that we were all required to adjust to, and finding a different balance in the new year. And so hopefully this is an appropriate cup that you guys might enjoy, and maybe for the next couple minutes or so, if you guys want to grab something, you can take a little swig with me. So I know a lot of you shavers like to throw up a beer or a cocktail or bourbon or something. I have no issues with that. It's not that I don't drink, but it's midday for me and got work coming up in a little bit. You guys are going to laugh because I'm 29, and yet here I am. I'm going to be doing a couple little shots of some Jones Blue Bubblegum soda for you guys. So I guess my eccentric character, I don't know, is this weird to be doing shots of soda with you guys? Let's see. So choose a theme song for yourself. I don't know. Do I need a little intro video, you guys? All right. I haven't had this in such a long time. There's a store up the street that has some Jones, but I have not seen the blue bubblegum soda in such a long time. So when I saw this last night, I had to grab some. Okay, so first drink. This is to all of you shave people, whether you're old friends or new friends that I've made this year, regardless of what platform I may know you on, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, the Shave Nook, Damn Fine Shave, any of you shavers out there that I've had a connection with this year, new or old, this is to you guys, helping make this year much easier to get through considering everything going on. So thanks to you guys and your company. Strong tasting soda. All right, this is a tough one. The second drink, and this is why it's kind of goofy, because I want to do like a little serious tribute, and I don't know how appropriate soda is. This drink is to anyone that may, it's in memoriam of anyone that may have passed away this year, whether it's from COVID or something else. I'm thinking of a couple people that I found out recently passed away this year. So I hope if any of you guys are dealing with missing anyone this year that's not around anymore, it's my cheers to you. Cheers to our friends and family. Trying to be grateful for the people that we have in our life. Not taking too many things for granted. Sure, it's been a challenging year in different ways for everybody, so like I said, you guys, I appreciate any of the company or messages, just little conversations here and there this year. I really appreciate those lighter moments. I'm sure everyone's had at least one heavy moment this year. So my last drink is for what we can do in the future together. Stand strong, stand faithful, stand positive, that we can all get through 2021 with more unity, more positivity. So looking forward, onward, upward. You guys have been awesome this year. So shaves aside, I hope you're all taking care of yourself and your family. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I knew I was going to get a little choked up. Okay, so today, I did upload a shave yesterday, so you guys are seeing 24 hours beard growth. And because my hair, I'm so self-conscious about my hair, because during these shaves, it's just kind of all over the place. JV was kind of laughing, so I'm actually going to throw on my beanie to keep the hair out of the way. You guys, if I look like a goof, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so soap, I'm going to load up my soap. I'll tell you guys why I'm going to use Felce. And instead of using my vintage Plisson, we're going a little less vintage, however old this is, version 1 Plisson. So did you guys notice? I don't know how many of you guys know, but this original version that came out, the synthetic, is kind of based on this little bottom part on a lot of these Plisson brushes. I don't know if you guys knew this. You guys will see me use this at some point in the near future. One thing I don't do, I know I've maybe mentioned this a couple times, I don't prefer to really soak the synthetic brushes. I think for me, I just feel like I don't have as much control with how quickly the water gets introduced in the lather. So you guys can see in this little puck, I don't have too much bloom water. So as I say with a lot of different things, whatever you guys might see me do in my process of shaving, I'm never going to tell you guys that there's only one way or that I'm doing it the right way. I think the most important thing in shaving is to try and find the most suitable way that works for you and helps you guys get great, consistent results. So this ends up being a little dry. I end up kind of just dipping tips just a little bit. Yesterday, still had a great shave. I just didn't load up enough soap. And so today, because I don't have that much beard growth, because this new Felce Aromatica Beta 4.3, this is really not my most preferred Beta 4.3 formula. This lather is still very, very good, very impressive. It's just definitely not the most dense or thick compared to some of the other Beta 4.3s. So I did cheat a little bit, add a little bit of mango and kokum butter, the tiniest little bit on top of this puck before I bloomed it. So I'll just go just a little bit more. All right. Hopefully I loaded enough. I'm sure we'll be all right. All right, so today I'm actually going to be shaving with the BBS-1, and somewhere in my channel, if you guys go through the videos, maybe it was back in April or March maybe. The last time I shaved with the BBS-1 is that video whenever it is up. So I haven't shaved with it in like, what's that? 7 months? 8 months? Or, well, 10 months? I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I think I got the carbon in. When was that? April, May? Guys, SV, in my opinion, they hit it out of the park. This is the first soap that they released for the shave market. Just, you know, the international market. And I wasn't in love with a couple things when they first released this. But I still really saw and felt the quality in it. So even though I only got like maybe three shaves in with that original puck of Felce Aromatica, God, what was that, back in 2014 maybe? And so pretty much ever since then, I was purchasing all the different soaps they were releasing. But this scent, I think a lot of you guys would really like it. I touched just briefly on how much I like Fougere's in my video yesterday. This is a little bit more of a, I guess you could say like masculine or spicy, maybe a little bit musky. I don't know how much musky would be an appropriate term, but I think in general most people really find this soap scent to be pretty well accepted, respected, and enjoyed. When I have less beard growth, you guys, I tend to find that I'm not as convinced that a thicker lather is going to help protect my skin when I'm shaving off, let's say, 1 day's beard growth. So this lather is, it does have, I think, good compaction, or if you want to say like the lather density or the cushion. I still have a hard time kind of telling people what cushion really is, because I'm not really sure that I know what people kind of think about, but this lather is very, very good. It's just, again, it's not as thick as some of the other SV soaps, and so I don't really have a affinity for this soap. So you guys can see it's just getting quite a bit more sheeny and creamy. I'll just go one more. The blade that I had in my carbon yesterday was a Gillette Rubie. Is it Plus? That is, I think I have the box right here. So earlier this year, the one that I got has platinum on the bottom. Rubie Platinum Plus. So it's got 2 other additional like words or indicators on there. So this box, I think the blades are pretty much the same. There we go. Done. Okay. You know what's funny, you guys? Right before I push play, I actually knocked my BBS-1 on the floor. This thing's been around. It's taken a beating over the years. I actually lost it for like 1.5 years, and luckily it made its way back to me. So this is the Rubie Plus, Rubie, yeah, Gillette Rubie on its 3rd shave. So let's just go with the grain. I told you guys before, as much as I've really enjoyed this razor over the years, sometimes I feel like the aggression is not quite, it's more aggressive than it might be smooth compared to other razors. If you guys watched my pass around video with the home-like Calabri, the 1.3 closed comb razor, that's the one that's made by that guy's got a YouTube channel, Home-like Vape, Home-like Shave. I apologize because I'm forgetting his name right now, but that razor I really liked, and just having like, I think 2 or 3 shaves. I honestly, if I had to choose, I'm gonna have to kind of revisit this razor a little bit more. I think I even liked that razor more than I like the way this cut. just based off of first impressions. I mean, I've probably had probably 200-300 shaves with this razor over the years. I've had it for a long time. I'm not really loving how it's cutting right now, but for many years I was used to shaving against the grain first pass. Maybe I feel like this is a little redundant. I very easily could have just gone against the grain first pass, but I think we'll be okay. If I end up getting a razor burn for this shave, again, I haven't shaved with this razor in so many months. So it is what it is. And I never really loved the shaves that I got with a Kai blade in, in this razor. I can't tell you how many times. I maybe have done like 3 shaves with the BBS-1 and a Kai razor. Just not a good pairing. And for the most part, Kai blades are a lovely blade for me in a lot of razors, but yeah, not my favorite feeling after the first pass. So let's see what this is going to feel like against the grain. This lather, it's very smooth, very creamy. I think the big difference is the active ingredient after water is I don't think it's in this aftershave. Does it say on the label? No. I want to say it starts with a D. But there's more of that than there is the Mann ash sap, and so I think that's why this tends to be more on the thin side versus like some of the other thicker lathers that the other SV formulas produce. We'll just get a little bit more water here, and then we're going to go against the grain. I already sprayed on the Barrister and Mann Fougere Aromatique cologne. I'm rocking the Barrister and Mann Diamond t-shirt from however many years ago. I don't know, when I'm done with the shave, I'll either decide between using one or the other. This is the SV Felce Aromatica, or I can do the Fougere Classique Barrister and Mann, or I can do both. Didn't have a plan. All right, let's just go one more dip of water. All right, let's go for that against grain pass. It's a lot more satisfying to do this against the grain pass using this razor. Maybe it's the way that my beard lays down, and so maybe I feel like this pass is just more efficient. Or, I mean, obviously it might be more efficient. It just seems like it's closer to what I want in that one pass. This razor is still very smooth. I think the thread that you guys might want to check out if you're interested in a BBS-1 is to go on Damn Fine Shave, go under the double-edged safety razors section, and go under Wolfman WR2 thread. When this came out, John at LA Shaving Soap Company found, I'm pretty sure he's the one that kind of was able to find a machinist, James Dufour, and they said, let's come up with a razor that I can sell through my online shave shop. How much were they? Maybe $300-400 at the time. I never had the BBS-1 handle. I've always just had the head. So after a certain amount of time and years that James was making these for John, they would kind of trickle in, I think. I don't know what the numbers were, but I think John, maybe he was a little bit bummed that James asked if he could stop making those, and he kind of did a recreation or an updated version of this razor by creating the WR2. And so now, you guys, if my understanding is right, the only details I know on this razor, the BBS-1, has a 1 millimeter blade gap. You see the blade? Got some lather on it. So I think the highest blade gap that I've seen that you might be able to get from James, if you decide to get a WR2, is a 1.65, and he may not be continuing to make those. So I think the one that, based on what I've read, the highest you can get is like a 1.55 millimeter blade gap. Just to give you guys an idea, I did see someone, I think, have like a listing for sale of the WR2 with a 0.95 blade gap, so something just a little more mild than this. I think if I were to get a Wolfman, before I'd get a WR2, you guys, I love this, but I do think that after trying the Lupo, the stainless and the aluminum version of the Lupo from Razor Rock, I would probably want to get a WR1 in a higher gap than a 0.61. I don't know, maybe someone was saying Razor Rock is doing more of those. You guys, it's a very close shave. Like I said, that first against the grain pass, or that first pass with the grain, it kind of doesn't really do that much for me. So if you guys watched my video yesterday, I've been slowly starting to do more of my carbon shaves using the first pass against the grain, and I don't think it really bothers my skin. I think I actually prefer it. So I'll do my last pass across the grain. I guess I kind of felt like just using some new gear. I was really in the mood to do a video today. Once again, there's just been so much energy with wet shaving this year, and I really hope that with everything going on, people have been able to enjoy themselves, feel a little bit more in their Zen mode. So when I pull out the lather and it doesn't have that ooey gooey runny center, that's when I feel like I didn't add enough water. Usually when I'm using a Badger brush in my face lather, most of the time I'm pushing it pretty far with the water that it runs out and gets really wet and runny. All right, we're good. So yeah, I mean, like, that's one of the things I've tried to do this year, is just be it on camera or off camera. I just may not spend as much time face lathering. I still might try to hydrate it still pretty well, just quicker. I tend to maybe like not worry about so much of the air bubbles, just as long as it's not too foamy. I pulled out some blades to just kind of briefly chat about after I finish this, so I'll kind of show you guys what I'll be revisiting with this razor. I don't know how often I'm going to shave with this. I kind of like to decide whether I'll keep it this year or whether I want to move it forward. Kind of an odd thing to sell just because it's so rare, but it's not like mine's in the most mint condition. So those of you guys that are buying a Wolfman, you guys can keep it in good condition after buying one and having it for a few shaves, and then if you need to sell it, so many people are able to keep theirs in really good finish, no scratches. But I've had this for such a long time, it's really been used. Last little bit. I will say I don't have an issue, but I think I do prefer when the razor's tabs, the blade tabs, are covered. So it's one thing in common, the carbon razors and this BBS-1, they have the tabs exposed. I don't know that I've ever like really hurt myself because of the exposed tabs, but it's a very good smell, you guys. This soap is really nice. There's still, okay, so when I was saying earlier that it's got spice, or I know I mentioned musk, again, I don't know how a lot of you guys would describe musk, but this also has a very fresh side to it, or almost like crisp, as if you were out kind of in the middle of like some greenery. And so there's just, I think, a nice balance of that spice, the outdoorsy kind of green feel, but also has just a really good balance of having a lot of character to it. I forget exactly what is a normal fougere. I think it's usually going to be like, it's got rosemary, lavender, maybe like moss. It's kind of a loose term. You have a little bit more swig of the blue bubblegum. Skin feels good, no nicks. You guys tell me how. They look pretty close. My skin doesn't look super red. It feels great. So, again, I've mentioned this a lot of times before. I don't love shaving with unobtainium on video because it's never meant to be a promotion of, look what I have, you guys can't get it. This is probably the most unobtainium piece of hardware I have in my den. So that was kind of one of those things with getting the carbon this year, was if something were to ever happen with this razor, I wanted to have another razor that was more current as far as available to purchase, so that I'm not like having to pay $1,500 to get another BBS-1. I love this razor. I've had a lot of great shaves, but it may not be one that I feel like I need to keep. So let's pull out these blades, and then maybe I'll just give my skin just a couple minutes, and maybe I'll throw on both of these aftershaves. So that's kind of grabbed just kind of some random blades. Blades that I want to try, let's say for the BBS-1. Well, there's not too much that I need to try. This is a new thing. I don't know how old stock these are. Made in China, London Bridge. I don't know if, yeah, again, I don't know if these are vintage. but I've heard some good things about these. Okay, actually a lot of these are probably like to try on the carbon, but for a long time in the BBS-1, I used Vashkot a lot. Maybe for like 2 or 3 years, I found that this was like the only blade that worked for me. So after I kind of did more exploring, these became kind of more of like a mild, more like low tier option to use with the BBS-1. I find these to be a good option. Before I found the Vashkot, the Polsilver Super Iridium blades, I used those for many years. Those were kind of like one of my first blades that I used extensively for like a lot of different razors, and always had very consistent, good sharp and smooth results. These are the Wizamets. You see that W? That's what the Wizamet is. I don't know, I just don't really care for these quite as much. That's not to say they're bad or that I've had less than favorable results. I just think that some of these other blades that I've been finding the last couple years, these are great. I still recommend them. Just they're not standout to me. So I'll just kind of keep these around. I don't know when I'll use those. The Gillette Rubies. I tried these maybe like a year ago, and really found that I liked them in the BBS-1. That's what I use today. The one pack I didn't grab was Red Pack Israeli Persona, the Platinum Chrome. I really love those. These are not my favorite. These would still be a good option in the BBS-1, the Gillette 7 o'clock Sharp Edge. This is probably what I would say is the best blade, and very close with the Red Pack Persona, but the Timmer blades from Germany, these are the ice tempered in Solingen DE blades. I think these offer, if I had to shave with the carbon and using a Kai, the BBS-1 with a Timmer blade is going to offer that maximum sharpness and maximum smoothness. Again, it doesn't mean that I can't get cut or nicked, but as long as I'm paying attention to that angle and the pressure, it gives you pretty much that perfect balance, at least in my experience. For my skin, it's going to have very good sharpness. So if I had a lot of beard, the Timmer is going to cut through it very well, but it treats the skin very nicely. So this is a top blade. You guys will see me use a Timmer in the BBS-1 again. Maybe that's what I was using earlier this year. Very highly regarded. For me, this Gillette Silver Blues are too harsh. The sharpness, I would say, is still very high, but the smoothness, it always just leaves my skin feeling just a little too raw. So I'm going to keep playing around with these a little bit more later this year. Maybe if I were to get, what is it, the plus base plate, or like I should try these with the minus base plate on the carbon, but I'm not a big fan of these. I also don't really love the Gillette Platinum, so I actually prefer quite a bit of the other Gillette blades. This I haven't shaved with in a long time. I'd be happy to try these in the carbon and in the BBS-1. Balzano Super Inox. These are it's the Italian company that has them made in Germany. These are supposed to be very highly regarded with different people, I guess, for both the sharpness and the smoothness. When I used these years ago, they were a little bit more on the rough side. Still very sharp, but just not quite as smooth on the skin. So, yeah, like I said, with just kind of less razors to rotate next year, I'm just going to be kind of dabbling, just very casually, just saying, okay, you know what, maybe for like next week or two, I'll try out this razor, this blade, and the different carbon razors and BBS-1. Oh, God, this stuff smells so good. I can't remember if I mentioned it in a video that I actually uploaded, but last month I was doing some shaves with PAA shave soap sample. I was making some comments about how much I really like Douglas as far as his perfuming and his aftershaves. So I would say for so many years, Douglas at PAA and Will from Barrister and Mann, they are probably the people that produce my favorite scents in shavedom. As much as I love SV, sometimes the scents don't have quite as much personality as some of the American artisans, and I think that that's okay. So that's kind of why I've always said that SV soaps are a little bit more of a technical choice rather than like I'm really wanting to use this scent and choosing it based on that. A couple of the things with this Fougere Classique, I think that there's a little bit more floral note. I want to say this one has like heliotrope and maybe some jasmine. I've got a little bit left of this, maybe like a few more shades. I'm just going to go one more little dab. But although I really love Will's scents, his aftershaves, these have never been the best alcohol-based aftershave for me. Maybe it's because these ones have a little bit higher amount of witch hazel. And so that's the one thing, like with these SV aftershaves, you guys can see the first ingredient is water and then it's alcohol. So for me, for those of you guys that like that sting, yeah, this is gonna give it, but for my skin, it's not the most suitable. So with this, just for the hell of it, we're gonna do both. Oh man, I love the way these feel. Get that scent stronger. What a damn good shave, you guys. No joke. Dare I say shit, that was a really good shave. Shit, that was a good shave. After all this year. Shit, what a year. Alright, here's the last tip, and I'm going to hop off, you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Probably going to catch you guys after New Year's. Have a safe New Year's. Wow. My skin feels woken up. Alright, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you guys ended up watching this whole video, thank you for your time. Like I said, so many of you guys in the shave community have truly made this year much easier to get through, just to kind of take our mind off of things. So I really appreciate you guys being able to just kind of be there, just on a friendly level. And I just wish you guys a peaceful ending to the year, and we'll catch you on the other side, all right? Take care.